What if I told you that there was a creature that once roamed the oceans and was bigger than any modern-day predator? Meet Mosasaurus, the mysterious and massive marine reptile that ruled the seas during the late Cretaceous period. With jaws that could swallow prey whole and a body longer than a school bus, this ancient ocean hunter was a force to be reckoned with. During the late Cretaceous time period, roughly 70 to 66 million years ago, a genus of marine reptiles known as Mosasaurus was prevalent on Earth. Due to their enormous size and razor-sharp teeth, these animals were fearsome predators that ruled the waters. In this article, we shall investigate the anatomy of Mosasaurus as well as its behavior and its history. In addition to Prognathodon, Clidestes, and Tylosaurus, other marine reptiles like Mosasaurus are also members of the family Mosasauridae. One of the most well-known dinosaurs in this family is called Mosasaurus, and its remains have been discovered in many different locations throughout Europe and North America. Petrus Camper, a Dutch physician, made the first discovery of fossils belonging to the Mosasaurus genus in the year 1764. After further investigation, it was discovered that the fossils were actually from a previously unknown species of marine reptile, despite Camper's initial assumption that they belonged to a species of whale. Mosasaurus, which means Mews lizard, is the name that Camper gave to this newly discovered genus of reptiles in honor of the river where the fossils were discovered. Mosasaurus was an enormous genus of dinosaur, with some species reaching lengths of up to 50 feet and weighing up to 15 tons at maturity. Their bodies were elongated and sleek, characteristics that made them well-suited for life in the water. The forelimbs of a Mosasaurus were paddle-like, giving it a distinct advantage in the water. Because the limbs were not as developed as those of other marine reptiles, such as plesiosaurs, this suggests that Mosasaurus relied more on its powerful tail for propulsion than it did on its limbs. The tail of the Mosasaurus was very long and strong, which allowed the animal to swim through the water at a rapid pace. Mosasaurus was able to successfully navigate while hunting or evading predators because of its tail, which served many functions including braking and turning. The tail was attached to the body by a chain of extended vertebrae, which enabled the animal to have flexibility and range of motion in its tail. The jaws of Mosasaurus were lined with massive pointed teeth, making them one of the most distinguishing characteristics of the species. Mosasaurus possessed two sets of teeth, one in the upper jaw and one in the lower jaw, that were meant to grab and tear apart the tough flesh of its prey. These teeth were located in the upper and lower jaws, respectively. They were one of the most terrifying predators that existed during that time period due to the fact that Mosasaurus possessed a flexible skull that enabled them to swallow its victim in its entirety. A carnivorous reptile, Mosasaurus fed on a wide range of aquatic life, including fish, sharks, and even other mosasaurs. Mosasaurus itself was a prey item. They were the most dangerous predators in their ecology, and it was common knowledge that they were very aggressive. Mosasaurus was a solitary species, and it is very unlikely that they participated in social activities like herding or hunting in groups with other animals. They could also dive to considerable depths, which let them chase their prey even farther below the surface. Since Mosasaurus was a reptile that breathed air, it is likely that they had to frequently come to the surface in order to take breaths. The marine habitats that were suitable for Mosasaurus ranged from shallow coastal waters to deep offshore locations, allowing it to thrive in a diverse array of settings. The discovery of their fossils points to the fact that they were able to travel great distances, maybe in pursuit of their prey or in search of new mating areas. There is just a limited amount of information available on the reproductive biology of the Mosasaurus. Nevertheless, fossil evidence does provide some insights. It is possible that female mosasaurs lay eggs, but none of them have been discovered. This is because the eggs would have been placed on land or in shallow water, making it unlikely that they would have been preserved as fossils in any of these environments. There is evidence that the Mosasaurus may have been capable of giving birth to live offspring, which is quite rare for reptiles. This conclusion might be reached as a result of the finding of petrified embryos inside the body cavities of several mosasaurs. On the other hand, this data does not provide sufficient proof, and more research is required to ascertain the genuine reproductive strategy of these organisms. Along with the other dinosaurs that were not birds, the Mosasaurus went extinct at the end of the Cretaceous period, which occurred approximately 66 million years ago. Many scientists believe that this mass extinction was caused by a massive asteroid impact in what is now the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico. This theory is still debatable. but it is supported by the majority of the scientific community. It is believed that the impact of the asteroid caused extensive devastation and environmental instability, which in turn led to the mass extinction of numerous species, including the mosasaurs. There is a possibility that the extinction of these organisms was caused not just by the impact of the asteroid, but also by other causes, such as volcanic activity and changes in the environment. The Mosasaurus fossil record is rather extensive, with a great number of specimens having been discovered all throughout Europe and North America. The fact that the bulk of these fossils have been discovered in marine deposits lends credence to the idea that Mosasaurus lived its whole life in the water. The Netherlands is the location where the first fossil of a Mosasaurus was found. Nevertheless, the majority of the most significant finds have been produced in North America, particularly in the states of Kansas, South Dakota, and Texas. The discovery of these fossils has supplied researchers with important new information on the anatomy, behavior, and evolutionary history of the organisms they study. In the year 2020, scientists made public their announcement that they had found a new species of Mosasaurus and given it the name Mosasaurus gracilis. The remains of this newly discovered species were discovered in Morocco, and it is estimated that it formerly roamed the Earth around 72 million years ago. With a body length of around 4 to 5 meters, M. gracilis was much shorter and more slender compared to the other known species of Mosasaurus. In 2018, researchers presented a paper in which they revealed the finding of soft tissue remnants from a Mosasaurus fossil. The publication was titled "The First Fossil Evidence of Mosasaurus Feasting." The fossil, which was discovered in South Dakota, had pieces of skin, muscle, and other components that had been preserved in remarkable detail. This is a very uncommon occurrence in the record of fossils, and it reveals important information about the anatomy and biology of the organisms in question. Recent study has thrown some light on this subject, notwithstanding the fact that the reproductive strategy of Mosasaurus is not yet completely known. In 2019, a group of academics released a report in which they revealed the finding of a fossil in Kansas that they believed to be that of a pregnant Mosasaurus. The fossil was found to have included the charred remnants of many embryos, each of which was around 17% developed at the time. This lends credence to the hypothesis that Mosasaurus may have given birth to live young as opposed to depositing eggs, as was previously believed. In the year 2021, researchers presented their findings from a study in which they analyzed the swimming biomechanics of Mosasaurus using computer models. According to the findings of the research, Mosasaurus was an effective swimmer that was able to swim at high speeds while using a relatively low amount of energy. This was made possible by the combination of the streamlined body form, strong tail, and flippers that it had. Thanks for joining us on this adventure into the world of Mosasaurus, the ancient ocean predator that once dominated the seas. We hope you enjoyed learning about this incredible creature and how it lived, hunted, and ultimately went extinct. If you have any questions or thoughts on Mosasaurus, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and we'll do our best to answer them. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more exciting content on prehistoric creatures and the natural world. We'll see you in the next video.